What I was saying is I built the first free website community on the internet called freeyellow.com in 1997. And that was in an effort to bring offline businesses to the online world. And that was a year before Google was even born. And it was like another lifetime ago now. But I've been building these platforms ever since. Last month, I celebrated my 65th time around the sun on the planet here, my birthday. And so this platform now is going to be the last one, and it's what I call the last run club. But some highlights here, we've probably all bought products and services that sort of over time wore out. The one good thing that we have here is we don't have a product and service that will ever wear out, because long before any of us on this Zoom was ever thought of, businesses were advertising for customers. And long after we're all gone from this earth, businesses will still be advertising for customers. So we have a platform where our product and service will never wear out. So Local City Deals is our platform. Ivy, I'll share with you and with you, Mark, because we sort of made a little bit of changes here, but we actually call this the Local City Partners program. We can still use the profits in there, but everybody this week is going to get a login to the localcitypartners.com site where you'll be able to track everything. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention here. So with what we do, if everybody's familiar with Groupon, they've been around since about 2010, and everybody loves to get deals. And so we have a platform, localcitydeals.com, which patterns after Groupon. However, I will tell you that Groupon has been on a small decline since their beginnings, but let me just share with you what that really means. Small decline means Groupon still did $1 billion last year in 2023, and they have tens of thousands of merchants that run deals on their platform. Now, I'm going to say this with the utmost of kindness because I'm not really trying to give Groupon any trouble, but they are not a good proposition for the merchant, because for the merchant, they run a 50-50 split with them, which is really not good. So let me just give you an example of a deal that maybe a restaurant might run there. So if a restaurant was saying you can get $50 worth of food for $25, that's 50% off. But what happens is Groupon is going to take half of that $25 that's collected from the restaurant, and the restaurant is left with $12.50 to fulfill $50 worth of food. That is not a good proposition for them. And Groupon only pays them twice a month, which that's not a good proposition for them either. However, I'm going to come back with the positive news. Anybody here, I would invite you to go to Groupon in your city, anywhere in America, and go look at all the restaurant deals and the hair salons and the nail salons and the car washes. And you're going to see hundreds and thousands of deals still to this day are being sold on Groupon. So the consumers love this because they want a deal. So we're coming to the marketplace, to these merchants now, with an 80-20 split, not a 50-50 split. So it's much, much better for them, much more appealing and attractive to them. And it saves them a lot of money. And the other thing is, remember I told you Groupon pays twice a month. We allow the merchant to get paid every single business day on our platform, Monday through Friday. So that's extremely appealing to them as well. But probably our most magic sauce of what we do on our platform is we offer these merchants exclusivity. Unlike any other platform, Groupon, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Money Mailer, Valpak, there's not a platform out there that offers exclusivity like we do. So what that means is that they can keep their competitors away from the platform, and that's what they love. That's why they come to us in droves, and hence the reason that the Local City Partners program was born because you all are here with an opportunity to help us scale on this platform. They come through the door and it's all performance based. So the merchant doesn't write a check when they come to our platform. And it's just like Groupon, they're the same way. It's all performance based, so there's no risk for them. But there is a cost involved in getting that merchant on their way in their campaign. Because we have so many differentiators, we can bring 50, 100 or more merchants onto our platform every single day that goes by. We also have AI technology. I mean, for the last year, all we've been hearing about is AI technology. And so we developed our own AI technology. So we have what we call our own AI employees that literally can make 1,800 phone calls in a minute. And I'm not kidding. You heard that right. It's 1,800, not 180. And it could make that many calls in a minute, and it could interact with 200 people in that same minute if 200 answered, which is incredible. It's the same with emails and texting. Our AI employee can do that as well. So we've got a whole developed platform here at City Press Media, which is our AI division, which allows us to get out to the restaurants at scale. So anyhow, I'll go back to why you're here, because you're helping us scale in that effort. So you're coming on board and taking a package of what we call merchant advertising units, and that can be as little as one, or it could be as many as 20 in a week. And those are $99 a piece. And what happens with us while you help us scale is that's what helps us bring the merchants in, get them settled up in their first campaign. And I'll go back to that 80-20 split. So when we have campaigns with them, we split on an 80-20 basis, but we charge them $297 a month for the platform fee for everything that we do for them. That is deducted from their 80% proceeds in their first campaign, and every campaign going on every month from there. And so now we give the local city partner $198 for that $99 unit. So effectively what's happening is the local city partner in the first month is doubling their $99 unit to $198. After that, in month 2 and going forward, the local city partner receives 10% of that $297, which is $29.70. From there, there's many of these merchants, because of the exclusivity, will not only be here for months, they'll be here for years to come. So there's a long-term residual income. So you could see how you could scale this, whether you took 1 unit or 5 or 10 or 20. The reason that there is a limit of 20 in a week is because we're balancing out bringing the merchants on, because we always want to guarantee that we can bring and assign the merchant to you in 30 days or less, could be less, just depends on the cycle at that time, but we always want to keep that balance in order. So the other thing that you would have noticed here, for many of you here, is that we have 7 tiers of commission. And I like to say that's on the front and that's on the back also. So the back is what I just described. So when Mark, I'll just use you as an example because Ron referred you. So when you take your units, then you're on Ron's tier 2. So he would receive 10% of your units on the front. So if that was 20 units, and you tendered $1,980, then Ron earns $198, which is the 10% from that. Tier 3 through 5 is 5%, and tiers 6 and 7 are 2.5%. So all of those percentages apply, and I think Ron brought it up to me today. We're just very young and we're in our baby shoes right now, but I think we have gone down to the 7 tiers now. And we've had 2 pay periods now in our baby shoes here. So on the front end, when you refer others, your direct referrals and your indirect referrals, you receive a commission, a percentage of the $99 units. On the back side, Mark, when your merchants are referred, now Ron will earn his 10% of your merchants that got assigned to you. So you'll earn that 10%, and so will Ron for referring you. And then, of course, that can go down to the 7 tiers. So that gives you an idea of how you all are helping us scale here and what you get in return for helping us scale. And going back to making the merchant exclusive, they don't want to lose their position, so they don't ever want to leave, because if they do, their competitor can move in, and if their competitor never leaves, they'll never have a chance to come back in the door. So that's why I said that these residual commissions could go on for many, many months in front of us, or even years to come. And remember, Groupon's been around since 2010, and even though it's not a great proposition for those merchants, they're still there by the tens of thousands. And I invite you all to go in to look at proof of concept, because even with a not so good proposition, you'll see merchants that are selling hundreds of deals every month, thousands of deals every month, and it goes on and on and on. So when they hear what we do, it's real simple for us to approach a Groupon merchant, and we never insult the reason that they might be at Groupon, because maybe they didn't know the difference. So what we say to them is, I can supercharge what you already do. And they already understand the plan because they're at Groupon. So they know the drill. But when they start hearing an 80-20 split instead of 50-50, when they start hearing, get paid every day and those types of things. In fact, we don't even tell them to leave Groupon. We don't suggest that they leave there. We let them figure that out on their own. So one day they'll wake up and things will be so good here that they'll figure out they don't need Groupon anymore. But there's tens of thousands of them. And one of the things that Mark asked me at the beginning of this was, how far are we going to go with this? Well, I'll share with you all candidly, being 65 and being the fact that I'm not really excited about managing hundreds of employees. So it would take hundreds of employees to do $1 billion a year. So I don't think we're going there. However, we will go to 25,000 to 50,000 merchants, which will put us in the 50 million, 100 million, $150 million range. And those 25 to 50,000 merchants will be here for a very long time, if not the forever road, which is where your opportunity comes in to grab that passive residual income. So I know a lot of you here, I know the names, and some may not know anything about this opportunity, but I think for a moment, I'm going to slow down here, Ivy and Mark and Ron, and I'm going to quit being a chatty Cathy here and maybe fill in the blanks and maybe answer some questions as well. And this meeting was very impromptu, so I wanted to help you all as we move on here.
Do you want them to raise their hands and go
just
that
raise your
route?
hand and I'll moderate if that's okay with you, Ivy.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Your exclusivity component is very interesting. And I'm wondering, like in a city like New York City, how do you, what is it, by neighborhood? How do you, in a big city, Chicago, New York, LA, anywhere like that, it's an enormous place. How do you apply the exclusivity to that? Just for clarity.
It's a great question. So for example, in New York City, that would be sort of a rare example, but because it's the #1 largest city in America. However, we would break that down into at least boroughs and probably go further than that into neighborhoods. My wife is from Chicago, and so you got all those neighborhoods and areas there. in the bigger cities, it may not make much sense when you look at it from that point of view, but we're doing this all across America. So if we were just doing this in one city, no, probably wouldn't be a great proposition for us. However, we're going to do this in upwards of 3,000 cities across America, so it evens itself out. And by the way, when it comes to restaurants, for example, that doesn't just mean one restaurant in a city. That means that we'll do all the cuisines. So there's about 25 of those. So Japanese, Mexican, Mediterranean, Italian, that type of thing. But it is part of our magic, Jim, because it's what makes a merchant make a decision today instead of saying, I'll wait and come back to you a month from now. They want to come in today because they don't want their competitor to be in here and they want to grab their position. And so we'll do that through those 25 to 50,000 merchants that we'll acquire over the next probably 6 to 8 months or so.
Hey, Troy, this is Robert. When you're doing the 20%, is there a limit? Does it stop at $297 or does it continue to go on?
No, okay. So let me give you an example so not to confuse you. The $297, we earn way more than that.
Yeah.
We charge $297 for, excuse me, the platform fee, and that's deducted from their 80%. So that's in addition to the 20% that we split with them. So, so yes, if a merchant ran a deal and we did $10,000 one month with a merchant, 20% of that is $2,000. The 20% is not commissionable, Robert. It's the $297 platform fee, which is.
And is that at the 10%? Because I thought it was $27.50, but it's $29.75 or?
Well, the $297, 10% of that would be $29.70. So in your second month moving forward, all of your merchants, you would receive $29.70 for every merchant that has been assigned to you in month 2 and forward. Your first month is where you double your $99 unit, and then your second month moving forward, you receive the 10% from the merchant, $297 payment.
So do you currently have merchants right now that are paying $297 a month?
We do, but they don't actually pay that out of pocket because it's deducted from the performance-based campaign. But yes, we've done all kinds of studies before we lift it off here. And we are in our baby shoes, Robert, so we are just lifting off, but we have merchants that we've been working with for a long time. And now we're ready to scale the platform.
Are you going to go city by city, or are you just going to go all over the whole United States all at once?
Actually, that's part of our magic as well, because we're launching a sweepstakes tomorrow, which is a national sweepstakes, and it's called Who's Your Favorite Restaurant and Why? And so we'll have people all across the United States that are entering that sweepstakes to win a $100 gift card from their favorite restaurant. And we do what's called a matching prize sweepstakes. And I learned this a long time ago, Robert, that a regular sweepstakes, everybody that enters, you're actually decreasing your odds. So we have a matching prize sweepstakes, which means that instead of it decreasing your odds every time you refer somebody to the sweepstakes. So I'll give you an example, and I'll use Mark and Ron in this. So if I referred Mark to the sweepstakes and Mark referred Ron, and Mark and I don't officially get picked as winners, but Ron does, then it goes backwards 2 tiers and it says, okay, who referred Ron? Mark did. So Mark will also win what Ron won. And who referred Mark? I did. So I will also win what Ron won. So now the more people you refer to the sweepstakes, your family and friends, the more you increase their odds, because if you don't win, but somebody you refer wins, then you win as well. So what happens when we run that national sweeps, Robert, is That's again about who's your favorite restaurant and why. So that will get to hundreds and potentially even thousands of entries every day where people are doing a testimonial about their favorite restaurant. And so that could happen anywhere in America, Robert, which is good news. So we don't have to focus on any one city because they'll rise up everywhere. And then that's where our AI technology kicks in and starts contacting those restaurants saying all of these people say your restaurant is their favorite. And that's how it's easy for us to bring restaurants in. But that could literally be in any one of the 50 states and hundreds of those a day.
This is really exciting, Troy. You know, that it levels the playing field, that everybody has access. So I love that. Judy has a question. Judy?
Question, Troy. It's named local. So is this just the more, the smaller vendors, not chains or franchises?
We would talk to a franchise if they wanted to talk to us. Truth, though, the franchisor usually has so many rules about what they can do. We don't really pay attention to them. But like in America right now, there's about 750,000 restaurants. 480,000 of them are independents. And so we will be talking to restaurants that are non-franchise, and they're very easy to talk to because you can get right to the owner, and sometimes they can have multiple locations too, and they can be bigger, but much easier. And so if a franchise were to come to us though, Judy, we some of the local franchises, they do have some autonomy to do their local advertising, but as a rule, we don't approach them because usually the franchisor controls what they do.
Yeah, I was curious. I guess you don't want affiliates promoting the product. It's all going to be done through AI, or is there a website we can, point them on to or something like that? Because it would be to everybody's advantage. Or even, is there going to be a program where we can get our own merchants?
Oh, certainly, you'll see that in the program where if you wanted to refer a merchant, a restaurant or a hair salon or a nail salon or a car wash, you could certainly do that. Part of the magic here is most everybody's excited about not having to sell or refer, because we do that. But in the system, Robert, there is a way to refer a merchant for sure.
Now, what happens if the merchant doesn't get enough sales to get them the $297 or whatever a month?
Great question, but will never happen ever, because all you have to do is go to Groupon and figure that out. That they're all either getting hundreds or thousands of deals in a month. And by the way, I run those same sweepstakes
Put that in the back.
for each merchant. So it would be impossible to get there where there would be no sales. It's like, it would never happen. There's a 0% chance of that happening, because when we bring them on, we already know at Groupon they're already selling hundreds or thousands of their deals. So,
And is the site where a customer goes, is it local city profits, localcitydeals.com, or is it an app? Or
localcitydeals.com.
And is it an app?
We are developing the apps, but right now it's the website, and it is mobile responsive, but we will be coming out with the native apps for the iPhones and Androids as well.
Gotcha.
And great question, Robert. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one more.
Bill DeFalco, go ahead.
Yes, so a couple of questions. So I understand that you, the company, are going to take on the task of reaching out to the merchants out there to bring them on board. Is that correct?
Yes, through our processes and with all the AI technology, yes, and from all the leads that come in through the sweepstakes, yes.
So, all right, so do you have the manpower to handle? That's a big task. There's a lot of business across the
that's a great question too. However, I would tell you with AI, it's just so incredible when you all get to see how this is working, because it's just like nothing you've ever seen before. The contact level is just through the roof. However, we have one other advantage, and I will tell you that my wife is a dual citizen Filipino. Her family's well-to-do in the Philippines. Her brother's the president of many provinces there, and we're actually halfway done building an office there. We already have 25 employees that are already there. They work 7 days a week on 2 teams, so each team works 4 days. And once the office building is done, we can double that, and they will be working 2 shifts. Right now, they work 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. their time, which here in Arizona is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And when we want to double that, then we'll have 2 more teams that work their 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is Arizona's 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we'll have 18 hours covered out of every 24-hour day, all 7 days a week. And so, yes, we are extremely well prepared for that. And there's another 100 applications on the desk in the Philippines. If we wanted to hire them, they would gladly come on board. Just the nicest employees anybody could ever want to have, very diligent, hard workers. Here in Arizona, that equal employee, I would be paying $25 an hour plus employment withholding and health benefits. So I'd probably be paying the employee here $1,300 a week. Over there, it's $250 a week for their 40 hours, and that actually puts them in the upper middle class there. So we're not taking advantage of them. They're extremely happy about that. So we can have that great employee in the Philippines working our hours for $1,000 a month instead of $1,000 a week. It's absolutely incredible. So yes, we're prepared on the labor and workforce side of this as we scale up.
How well capitalized are you going forward?
We do. We have probably nearly $2 million of our own money into this whole operation. We don't have any bank loans. We don't have venture capital. Didn't want to do that. So,
Right.
and
That sounds good.
and you're here. I mean, just again, I'm going to repeat this, like I said at the beginning of this Zoom meeting. You're here to help us scale because we can go a lot faster. I can go at my own rate, and I would be just fine. But scaling to 25,000 to 50,000 merchants, that's an undertaking. And that's where the local city partner program comes in. So you can help us, and then we share in that revenue that comes through the door there. So that's how we scale. But
Okay.
could we do this without partners? The answer is emphatically yes, we could. But we'd like to get there sooner than later. So
Right.
hence the program was born.
What's the financial advantage to me bringing on businesses, let's say in my area?
I mean, obviously you're going to get your commission the same as what we've described here. I will tell you boldly, that's not really part of the program. We weren't really choosing to have partners do that because we already have that part of it figured out. And I will tell you, with the utmost of kindness, we didn't want to go out and get an army of affiliates that frankly we'd have to train, and we don't know what they're saying to the merchant, how they're saying it, and then all the back and forth that goes into that. So we do that in-house with all of our technologies and the AI, and it goes very fast. And we
Right.
found most would rather have us do that than them. But certainly we'll take a referral. If you have a friend that owns a restaurant or something like that, that would be very natural. But the selling part of it, not really, because there's a lot that you would have to know. And we have an approach to the Groupon merchant that works perfectly 100% of the time because they're already doing it.
Right.
So they already
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. I have 2 quick last questions. Number one, I would assume this
There's
is in
some
the
other
US.
people, Bill, waiting.
Is this open in the USA only right now?
And we're only going to do it in the USA. But the partner can be anywhere in the world. We're getting merchants only in the United States, but somebody could participate in the partner program that's in Canada or London or Australia. They would, there's money transfer services, so they can send money for the units, and then we can certainly pay commissions out globally. But we're only going to be acquiring merchants in the United States only.
Okay. The last thing I wanted to ask is, you set the merchants up in this program. Is it up to the merchants to get the word of this out to their prospective clientele?
No, zero. I have all the data. I have all the traffic. I run sweepstakes for them. So no. And because I have all that data, that's a magical part of the program too, because we don't need to go on the outside. I don't need to go to Google, Facebook, Instagram. I can start a sweepstakes bill for a restaurant that already has average traffic, and I could get anywhere from, depending on the size of the restaurant, 3,000 to 15,000 people to enter that sweepstakes and get eyeballs on their deal page quickly.
That's
all
a big
without
plus. That's a
advertising
huge
on the
plus.
outside.
You've answered my questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Mike, you had a question?
And you're already paying right now. So have you been doing a beta test right now, or like a
We're in our baby shoes, and all we've paid is on the front right now of people bringing in the units. And in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start to see merchants flowing through here, and then you'll start to see the merchant payments. So yes, we're in our baby shoes, and commissions are being currently paid on the front end. And within the next 2 weeks, you'll start to see the merchants come in, and then they'll be paid on the back end.
Are you worried you're not going to have too many affiliates getting involved with this, where are you going to have to slow it down a little bit too? Maybe?
No, that's why there's a limit of 20 units per week per partner, because that's what creates our balance. But again, we don't have that problem because of AI. Actually, we can bring tons in here. But we got to keep the balance. So we're not worried about that. But at any time, I could pull the throttle back, of course, and say we're not taking any more units at this point if we wanted to do that. But we don't intend to do that until we get somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 50,000 merchants here. That's our sweet.
And I did hear you say something about 50 million. How many merchants would that be? I didn't hear that number.
Well,
I missed that number.
It's hard to judge that, because some merchants might do 10,000 a month, some might do 20, some might do $3,000, but 25 to 50,000 merchants are going to put you in a range of 50 to 150 million a year in gross revenues. That's all the revenues. That's not the split, but that's the gross revenues.
So everyone will be receiving merchants, and you said we don't have to go after them. AI will do that for us. How do you distribute the merchants?
In the order that your units came in, Kim. So, and that's why we also limit to 20 a week, because we wouldn't want somebody to purchase 100 and then somebody purchase 3, and then they have to wait a long while for us to fulfill those 100. So they come in the order, so we track when you came in, the date that you came in, and then we have an order.
You might want to clarify that, the date of payment.
Yeah, well, it's the date of payment, not the date of the signing of the agreement, but sometimes that's the same date.
Right.
But from that date, then you go into an order, a list, Kim, and we fulfill those merchants in the order that they came in.
So today I purchased 5 units.
Yes.
So you said it's 20 units per month?
No, I'm saying that there's a limit of a partner purchasing 20 units in a week.
In a week.
So that it gives everybody a fair and equal balance as we bring those merchants in. So, but we fulfill them in the order that you came in. So I would guess, I don't know, there's probably, there's probably a couple hundred right now that are in line, and we'll get those over the next couple of weeks. but they are fulfilled in the order in which they came in. And in your written agreement, it tells you that it would be 30 days or less. So you won't wait more than 30 days. And that's why we create the balance so that somebody doesn't buy more than 20 units a week, because we want that balance there in the fulfillment.
Okay, so if I purchase 5 units today, I can purchase 5 more tomorrow, as long as I don't hit over the 20.
You could in a calendar week, just not more than 20. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Anything else, Kim?
No, all other questions was answered. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, Ivy, do you want to wrap up and say anything else?
Well, real quickly, Ron, I would like to call out and introduce, there's 2 people here from corporate, Cesar Costa, who is our general manager and administrator, and Ellen Britt is here, who is the senior content editor in the department there. I invited them here today just so everybody could start getting familiar with people at corporate here beyond me. I think everybody knows who I am. So I just wanted to make that note, Ron.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Cesar, for coming. Thank you so much, Troy, for coming. And Ron, Mark, we appreciate everything that you are doing to help us move forward with making decisions and promoting this as well to other people who would love to have some passive income. So I'm very excited that you put this together. And thank you, everyone, for coming. If there's anything else.
And thank you, Ivy, for inviting us here and
Yes.
being part of everything here. And we're happy to have you here. And our other goal beyond helping merchants, we really do get a kick out of helping people create a passive income. I created this for my lifestyle going forward, and I don't work because I love everything I do. So I'll still be doing this when I'm 70 and beyond. But we do have a genuine desire to help people with a passive income, because especially of today, the world we live in now, it's so tough to find the right thing because we get hit with 50 opportunities a day. And we're just happy to help everybody create that passive income for themselves and their families. So.
Very good. Well, everybody get back with the person who invited you to the Zoom, and we will just continue forward. Thanks again, Warren. Troy, sorry.
Thank
you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your Mondays.
Great info. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.